overlighting, and sometimes I do it myself. You know, I just find myself sometimes like, oh, let's put this light, put this light, put this light, because it's available.
I believe you said that the camera should not be noticed by the audience. How do you go into a shot and make sure that the camera is actually, once someone views it, that the camera is almost like a non-entity?
Well, here's the thing, really, what comes down to what really cinematography is. Like what I was saying before, that the filmmaking process is a team process, and everybody contributes their part. When film is good, when film is great, you don't notice cinematography. You don't notice production design. You don't notice visual effects. You don't notice makeup, hair, editing, music. You don't notice any of that, but it's there. So cinematography should not really drive attention to itself. I will use analogy. Orchestra. When you listen to good orchestra, well-balanced orchestra, well-conducted orchestra, every section of instruments does their thing, and everything sounds really perfect, nice and balanced. There is no particular flute or a clarinet or cello out of 4 cellos or 6, depending on the orchestra, that will stand out. It will stand out if it's a solo concerto for cello or for piano. But in general, if you have a music piece, if it's a symphony or something like that, everything's balanced. Everything's balanced. Everything fits, and everybody, you take away strings, well, it's not the same thing. Take away wind and brass, it's not the same thing. But put it all together, it's a perfect piece. So same thing with the cinematography. It's, if your images are so well following the story, and images on their own are not attracting attention to themselves, then you're doing a good job. That's good cinematography. That's like in music again, same thing. When you have a band that plays well, then it's all perfectly balanced. You can have. I will use another example which I really like. Herbie Hancock was playing at some point with Miles Davis, and as they're playing the piece, Herbie played the chord. And he is very accomplished. Even back then, he was a very accomplished pianist. So he hit the chord that was off. Happens, you know. You play and you hit a chord which is slightly off. So what Miles Davis did is he was playing. He changed his way, to change the key that he was playing, to make this chord sound right. To make it like part of the whole composition. So that's kind of the same thing in the cinematography. You have to be able to respond to the moment. And if something happens that is not necessarily something that you planned, but you recognize it, you go for it. And it's, again, always good result.
I believe you said that a lot of new filmmakers end up overlighting their scenes.
Yes, that's always natural response, because overlighting, and sometimes I do it myself. You know, I just find myself sometimes like, oh, let's put this light, put this light, put this light, because it's available. And you know, but again, overlighting means like it comes from normal insecurity, which we all have on a set. Everybody has insecurities, which is what makes jobs so excited. You don't know what you're doing. You kind of know what you're doing, but not really. So to protect yourself, you're going to put one more light there, one more light there. And you might need it, you might not. But today in the class, which I think it was really interesting class, because I really demonstrated to students how you can light the whole scene with one light bulb, simple light bulb. But you can also have 7 other lights, maybe even more than 7 lights in the whole thing. And you can use all of 7, you can use 6, you can use 5, you can use 3. It all depends on taste. And again, going back to what we talk about, taste. It's a taste is what education and learning and training is all about. Like once you understand, and you can see right away, oh, if you turn off this light, look at the hair. Okay, oh, okay, I see. So that's why this light is there. Now, do I like it? No, I don't. Let's turn it off. Let's go brave. Let's go without that light. Or maybe put another light right there, or put a 5K and make the flare because it might look good. That's responding in a moment that you don't plan, but recognizing as opportunity, and you grab it. So that's kind of how things work.
I think you've said too to stay away from interior shots where you're dependent on natural light.
Very difficult is to go when you are in, obviously, when you are in interior. The reason why we have stages is because you want to be in control. You want to control the light, you want to create a mood. And more importantly, once you create a mood, you want to maintain the mood. You can be on a stage, make it look like day, and it will be day as long as you want. It can be night as long as you want. Doesn't matter, right? You're not chasing the light. You're not chasing the harshness of the sunlight or deep shadows or anything that is thrown at you at any given location. But if you're outside on location, you're really depending on what's happening at any given time of the day. What time the sun is coming up, what sun is sunset, what time you lose the light, what if clouds come in, what if you lose the cloud cover. It's a whole kind of things that are much more difficult to control. So the point obviously is you want to make things too consistent and make sure that all the visually, that what you shoot in the morning and the end of the day fits together visually. It's connected. If you have a location and your interior is on location, let's say you have a house and the house is looking outside, which I've had a million times situation, then proper planning is the key. Then you know, okay, between 8 and 11, the sun is coming from this window here, so we can use it because at 4 in the afternoon we're going to lose the sunlight. And if we did not finish the scene that was facing the sunlight, it's not going to work. So proper planning is even more difficult because if you don't have control, even in interior, you are still depending on the daylight, depending on the position of the sunlight, and even the weather condition. What if it starts raining? Then makes your job very, very difficult and very challenging. I will tell you an interesting story. I did a movie in Canada years ago, and it's supposed to be kind of like split screen, 3 shots, And simple shot is that each of the characters gets in the car and drives away. So we shot it in Canada. It was in fall in Vancouver. So during the day, we shot first car, and the next day, we shot a second car. And then started raining, and raining, and raining, and raining, and we could not get the third shot. And it has to feel is the same time. One character at their house, one character at his house, and his house. Well, we had 2 sunny shots for first 2 characters, but it's raining on a third one, and it cannot work that way. We tried everything, did not work. And then at the end, we ended up shooting this at night in the rain. It was a big production, covering set, big lights, things that we literally point the camera and roll became like big deal because we have no control over it. And it worked at the end, but it was very, very challenging. Simple shot, 1 shot.